Well, I'm rocking out my Seinfeld shirt and I've got some snacks. I am ready to go with this book tag. Hey everyone, it's Kayla and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I always love watching ASMR and mukbang videos, and I've always kind of wanted to do one myself, but I thought, why not combine a mukbang with a book video? So I figured I have a lot of tags that I have not gotten around to, and this particular tag is perfect for my first mukbang book video. I don't know, let me know what you think after you watch this. So today's tag, I was tagged by the lovely Faye from Books and Chocoholic to do the 90s music book tag. We're going to combine the 90s music book tag with some childhood snacks. So I have a bunch of different snacks here that I've compiled together to share with you that I had during my childhood. So I was born in 1993, so I grew up, so most of the 90s was pretty influential for me in a way, and obviously the early 2000s, but definitely the 90s. And I guess these were just some of the snacks that I felt were more nostalgic for me growing up. So we're going to do these questions for this tag, and we're going to eat some snacks, and it's just going to be a nice chilled video. Oh, and I'm also wearing my Seinfeld shirt. So, because I figured, you know, Seinfeld was a prominent show in the 90s. I don't really have a Friends shirt, so Seinfeld is just gonna have to do. But I love Seinfeld, it's great. Okay, so for starters, I also have a nice little Simpsons mug with some ginger beer in it because I've drunk ginger beer and sarsaparilla since I was a little kid, so ginger beer works. But the snacks I have, we've got these little things. Now, these are fads. And when we were little, we used to pretend to smoke them because they kind of look like little cigarettes. They kind of have a chalky texture, but they're actually really nice and sweet, and I love them. I have little trolley gummy burgers. I've got some musk sticks, which are very similar to these, except they taste a little bit different, but not by too much. They're a little bit more chewy. I've got some Jersey caramels, which are absolutely delicious. We've got some Oreos. I don't know if you can actually see that, but we have some Oreos. We've got some jam-filled marshmallows. I have an Aero bar. And I've got a Yowie chocolate, which we didn't have these for a while. They've only just come back in recently, which is very exciting. And I haven't had a Yowie since I was little. So I'm very excited to get into this with you guys. I'm sort of like working out this setup. It's a little bit awkward if you can't half tell. I will tag down the bottom the original tag as well for this video. Let's just get into the first question. I think I'm going to start with, maybe I'll have a musk stick because they're delicious. They taste, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like strawberry, kind of, but they're really yummy. Question number 1 is, What's My Age Again by Blink-182. What age did you discover your love for reading? I've been reading for as long as I can remember. Like, if I myself wasn't reading, my nan would be reading to me. So she would read us like Beatrix Potter, and she got these books that are a story in itself, but you can send out your details, like your name, your address, your friends, and they'll put that into the story, and it'll be like it's your story or a story about you. Really cool. So she used to read those stories to us, but after that, like, I'd start reading by myself and get books from the library, as you do as a kid. So I think, like, I've probably been reading since I was born, essentially, because one of the book sets I have a teddy bear to match with it, and I was only a year old when they gave me the teddy bear, and I imagine the book set as well, or I had the book set before then, but I'm just going to say 1 because technically that's when I was being read to, so I was still reading, that still counts, but I'm going to say 1, or at least since I was born. Okay, what I want to try next, I'm going to have a Jersey caramel. These are just like chewy caramel squares. They're really, really good. I haven't had one of these in ages. Question number 2. is All Star by Smash Mouth. What is your favorite genre? I love historical fiction. Like, I love writing it, I love reading it, I love watching it. It's definitely, when I read historical fiction books, they're definitely more memorable to me, if that makes sense. Like, they stick with me more than any other books usually do. Like, a lot of my favorite books are definitely historical fiction novels. I don't know, there's just something about it that I really enjoy reading. But I also love romance. A lot of historical fiction does have romance in it as well, so it's a win-win situation for me. I forgot how sweet Josie caramels are. How good is this mug though? It's Mr. Sparkle. It's fantastic. Question number 3. Breakfast at Tiffany's, deep blue something. What is your go-to reading snack or drink, or just your favorite? Well, I'm going to try some of these marshmallows. Sorry. These marshmallows have like jam inside, and I used to eat these when I was little, so it's a very nostalgic feeling for me to eat these again. But they're delicious. I don't really like to eat when I'm reading. If I do, it's usually like chicken crimpy shapes. See, look, there's the jam. It's delicious. Yeah, so usually chicken crimpy shapes or like salt and vinegar chips. You guys in the UK or America or wherever probably call them crisps. We obviously call them chips. So chicken crimpy shapes, which are absolutely delicious, or like salt and vinegar chips, or just something like that. Because otherwise I get distracted. I find it difficult to read and eat at the same time. I like to focus on what I'm eating because I love food. And I'll usually have like a soft drink or tea or water. Majority of the time it's water, but half the time like I don't usually like to eat or drink, and most of the time I'll have like a bowl of water near me anyway, so it'll mostly just be water. But yeah, I don't like to eat and drink when I'm reading, so it's just distracting for me. Give It Away by Red Hot Chili Peppers. What book do you always recommend to people? I'm gonna have a drink. Before I get into that, I'm going to have an Oreo, because Oreos are delicious. The book I always recommend to people is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. I love this book. It is definitely one of my favorites. It's narrated by Death, set in World War II in Germany. And honestly, like, it is such a beautiful story. I know there are some people who've read it and haven't actually enjoyed it, but it's one of my favorites, and I will always recommend it to someone if they're into historical fiction in World War II. Or even just in general, because it's such a good book. There's some amazing characters. They did a really good job with the movie adaptation as well. Like, I just think it's so beautiful. I love this book so much. What do I want to try next? Maybe I'll open these fads. They look like this. They're like little yellow sticks. And they kind of taste like the musk sticks, but they're harder, not as chewy. And we used to pretend to smoke with them. We used to pretend they were like cigarettes. Really bad, but they're actually delicious. Number 5, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. A book or series you have read more than once. For this one, I've gone with Knights of the Round Table, Gawain by Gwen Rowley. I read this again earlier on in the year for a rereadathon, and I hadn't read this probably since a good 10 or so years ago, and it was so good reading it again. But before that, like before I reread it again this time, I had read it multiple times. It was just my go-to read at that time because I've always loved King Arthur and like the Middle Ages, medieval sort of style. And I just loved it because it was so romantic, and it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast style story in a way, with like a curse and stuff. And I love rereading it. And as you can tell by the spine, I have reread this multiple times. So this is definitely one that I have reread over and over just because it's such a good story to me. I love it. let's have a look at the Kinder Surprise. So that's what it looks like. It's like a little egg. If I can break it. Oh, of course, I just broke it everywhere. So inside is a little toy, and you open it up and piece it together, and it's a little toy. So I'll leave that till later, but that's what it looks like on the inside. So it's like milky chocolate on the inside. It's really good. Number 6, Tearin Up My Heart by Nsync. A book that broke your heart to finish. For that one, I've gone with another World War II book, The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Also, I'm sorry, I think the lighting's just sort of gotten darker. It's a bit stormy outside, so that's probably why. But yeah, this broke my heart to finish. Just because it's based on a true story. It's based on true stuff. It's so heartbreaking. Anything that's set in a concentration camp is always going to be heartbreaking. In this book, we follow the guy who is the tattooist for people in the Auschwitz concentration camp. So he's the one that puts the numbers on everybody, which is a terrible job in itself, but he did it so he could survive. But yeah, if you haven't read this yet, definitely recommend. Let's have a trolley burger. So they look like just a gummy burger. Number 7 is Crush by Jennifer Paige. Your first bookish crush. This is probably obvious for some people, but Will Herondale from the Infernal Devices series. He was my first crush, and I absolutely adore him. He's just amazing. So this particular edition is the manga edition, which is awesome. They're so good. Like, I still love the original books better, but the manga is really, really well done. But Will Herondale is definitely my first bookish crush. I love him so much. And we've got the Yowie. Oh, I forgot they come with little surprises in them too, like the Kinder Surprise. And it's just broken, of course. But Number 8, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. A book you read as a teen that you still love today. One of my flowers just fell down. It kind of doesn't taste like I remember it tasting, or maybe I didn't like them as much as I thought I did. But it kind of tastes like fake chocolate. Tastes different. Like fake Easter egg chocolate. I hate that. That's what the Yowie tastes like. I'm disappointed. Back to my Kinder Surprise. Okay, we'll have a look at this Aero bar, which is mint chocolate and kind of like bubbly. But that's the Aero bar. And that's what it looks like on the inside. I love chocolate mint. It's delicious. This one I've gone with something a little bit different that I probably haven't mentioned on this channel much at all, is Remember Me by Leslie Pierce. Now, I read this when I was about 16. This is what got me into this author. It's what got me into wanting to learn more about Australian history. It's what got me into learning about convicts and wanting to research my family history and see where my family actually came from. So this was the whole reason for my obsession with my family history and convicts. Because this is based on Mary Bryant. It's based on a true story of a convict who was transported with the First Fleet to Australia. But then she escaped. And she was one of the, I think one of the few, I'm actually not 100% sure there, but like one of the few convicts to actually escape and not return. And it's her heartbreaking, emotional journey to get back home. And it's just such a wonderful story. Leslie Pierce is one of my favorite authors. I really don't talk about her much on this channel, and I really should. But she's amazing. Her research is so well done, in my opinion. Like, I just love it. And this was my first book that I read of hers. Thoroughly enjoyed. Such a beautiful story. I loved it. I think we've tried all the snacks. My favorite has got to be the marshmallows though. And the Oreos. Marshmallows are the bomb. That is the end of the tag. I will be tagging specifically 12 Months of April, Cull Through the Pages, Pages with Paige, and Life with Simon, because they are lovely people and I really would like to see them do this tag. And no, you don't have to eat while you do the tag either. This was just what I wanted to do for fun. Yeah, and also if you really just want to do this tag and you haven't been tagged, feel free to do it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It was a lot of fun to do and I really enjoyed just eating, chilling with you guys. It was good fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. I look forward to seeing your tag. Let me know if you would like me to do any more sort of eating bookish related videos like this. I don't know if this went well. My setup, like I said, is kind of weird, but it worked. It did its job. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! I can never get these undone. So what is this? Oh! Okay, this one you don't have to put together, thank God. That's what we got in the Yowie one, which is really cute. A ring, so it's meant to look like that. Like that. Oh, there we go. That was easy. It's not going to fit on my fingers because my fingers are too fat, but yay!